All right, hey team, welcome to our Thursday night call. It is the 25th. I almost said 23rd, but that would be Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a fantabulous Thursday. See, I want to say Tuesday. When you work from home, you like lose track of what day it is. Like I woke up Monday, I'm like, yeah, it's Friday. Bill's like, no, it's Monday. I'm going to work. Thanks. Oh, sorry. Let's start off with recognition real quick. Top 5 coaches for the week with PV are 450 for Emily Albrico, 404 Katrina, 375 Stephanie Parks, 345 Stephanie Smith, and 240 Chelsea. We'll just say pretend I know how to pronounce your last name, even though you just told me, but I don't. Success Club. You guys are doing awesome this month. I'm super proud of you guys. So the people that have Success Club already are myself with 12, Stephanie Smith with 10, Brittany Wood with 9, my husband with 8, Alicia Luganville with 8, Victoria Gray with 7. Oh, can everybody mute themselves if I didn't mute you? I think we're all good, though. Sorry about that. Stephanie Parks with 6, Emily Albrico with 5, and Katrina Fogarty with 5. And there's so many people that just need help. One more person. Like, you're literally, like, right there. So the following people just need one more person they have to help. That's it. Cindy Mallory, Cara Theodore, Danielle Bardsley, Katie Chappelle, Layla Lozano, Jamie Arena, Lindsay Sessions, Jill Kelly, and Lisa Schmidt. You ladies just need to reach out to one more person. And there's so many more of you that have 2 points, 1 point on the board. You guys know my saying, it's not over till it's over. You literally have 6 more days left of this month, 11:59 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. 21-day fix is still on special. It'll be on special to the end of the month. So make sure you guys are reaching out. Lots of different challenge groups starting up. I'm starting a new challenge group on the 6th. You can start promoting that one. There will be a buy-in again for a prize at the end. But usually that works really well because people like prizes. So they like to know that they're going to get something if they do awesome, and it motivates them. I think the biggest announcement today is that we have a new diamond on our team. So huge congratulations to Cara. Yay! Cara, you guys know we were helping push her. She set a goal. She was going to be diamond by Summit. She had to be diamond by today, and she made it happen. So congratulations, Cara. Super, super proud of you, girl. One last thing is our next coach sneak peek. We're going to kind of go off of our monthly organization. I know we usually do it in the middle of the month, but with Summit, I don't want to wait till the 20th to get people to join the team. So Brittany is going to be hosting a sneak peek on the 6th, and then I will host another sneak peek on the 20th. So you guys are going to have 2 sneak peeks this month. Use it to your advantage. I feel like I'm yelling. I'm really, really sorry. For some reason, I do that when I'm talking to you guys. Use that to your advantage. With Summit coming up, that's a lot of momentum that's going to be built for those that's going to Summit. You guys are going to be posting like none other, and people are going to see that. So let's use both of those sneak peeks to our advantage. So that's that. I'm going to pass it over to Courtney. Courtney, I left your stats on my post-it note. So if you want to introduce yourself and give all that fun stuff and then just go straight into your content, I'm super excited.
Okay, I'm not great at that stuff. I'm generally a humble kind of leader, but I'm Courtney Bell. I am currently a 5-star Elite 2014 coach. I'm 6-star qualified as of this morning. One coach away from that 7-star qual, and so I know she's going to have it next week, which is really exciting. But we had a really big day on our team as well, everybody pushing for those Summit recognition. So I woke up, I think I went to bed at about 2 a.m. I was too excited to sleep. I was on the phone with the Diamond Line until 11:59 trying to make sure people were where they needed to be. And it was 2 a.m. I was talking to my West Coast pals. You know, they have finished up dinner and I can't go to bed, because it was just too exciting. So it's exciting to hear that some of you guys met your goals too for Summit. So congratulations. A little bit of background information about me. I have been a coach for almost 2 years now. I signed up in July of 2013. And honestly, watching people I know at Summit was what got me to jump. I was a former collegiate athlete, a swimmer, and I grew up in New England, Massachusetts, and I have a network of swimmer friends that are Beachbody coaches, and they had started about a year before me, and they were inviting me to shake challenges, and I was the ignore. I didn't even say yes or no. I just was crickets. I said nothing. I was like, I'm not a shake person. What the heck are these people doing? I don't want to be sold anything, and I ignored every single request. And then they were at Summit in 2013 in Vegas, and I saw them just having fun, exposed to some great leadership opportunities and personal development and with friends and making new friends. And here I was sitting at my desk job, bored out of my mind. Like, I think I had reached the end of the internet. I was so bored. And that was that day I reached out to them, and they'll tell me they remember exactly where they were standing the day that I messaged them. And I said, you got to tell me more. I need more. I deserve more in my life than what I'm destined for right now. I was working in a higher education setting as a disabilities coordinator, a counselor for students with disabilities. I love teaching. I love helping people. I have a degree in early childhood and a master's degree as an intervention specialist. So I've worked with children ages 2 up to adult learners in the collegiate setting. And for the first time in my life, I hated going to work. I didn't enjoy myself. I was 1 year postpartum. I was spending 1 hour a day with my son because I was commuting, and by the time I get home and he would go to bed, I just knew, I was like, there's got to be something more for me that plays on my strengths, gives me more flexibility, and that's something that I can excel at and have some autonomy, because my job where it was really draining was that I had no autonomy in anything. I couldn't make decisions on how I wanted to help students. I had to run it by somebody. And I found that so constricting for somebody like myself who is a go-getter and just dives in and wants to help people the way that I want to help people. And so when I saw them there at Summit, I reached out, and when they got back, we had a phone conversation. I signed up to be a challenger. I knew I was going to be a coach. In my head, I knew that this was going to be a good fit for me. But I, like so many of my challengers kind of do to me, it's like, I want to kind of experience what this whole thing is about before I kind of jump all into it. And so I was a challenger for like 4 days. And then I said, sign me up. I'm ready to change my life. I'm ready to change other people's lives. Let's do this. And I haven't looked back since then. And it's been an incredible journey. I have an amazing network support of coaches. My direct upline is Erin Garapi. Her upline, so the 2 girls that I messaged when they were in Vegas, is Carrie Legault. And so she was on the National Wake Up Call 2 weeks ago, and she did an amazing job. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to listen to that, but you got to listen to it, because I don't know that anybody has a bigger heart than her. And so I really credit a lot of, I think, the success that I've seen to the leadership that I've been exposed to and how we conduct our business. And we are always a friend first. And I think I learned that really early on. And I think that's really helped me to see a lot of success, because when I have challengers, when I come in contact with anybody, and I take a really long time through the relationship process. And I know some of my coaches, that drives them nuts, because I don't expect somebody to purchase a challenge pack the first time, the third time, the 12th time I talk to them. For me, it takes a while. I have customers now finally ready. I set up 2 years ago, and I have a group of people that I just keep reaching back out to and inviting them to a challenge group, and they're just now joining me. And so I tell my coaches that you have to keep coming back. It's, the fortune's in the follow-up. I know we've heard that a lot of times, but these people have to be ready. We want them when they're ready, because I know as a newer coach, I definitely struggled to find my balance between coaching and sales and wanting to excel and move forward and Success Club and all these new lingo and jargon and being a competitive. I don't know if any of you do like the Danny Johnson gems, but I'm very Ruby. I'm a Ruby Pearl, which is, I think, I don't know how super common that is. We kind of talk about it in one of our leadership pages, but we seem to be the rarer bunch, that Ruby Pearl. But I want success, but I want it in a way that is forming a relationship first. So I take a long time to really nurture my relationships with my challengers. And that kind of leads into a little bit about what I want to share with you guys tonight, because I'm not a huge recruiter. I don't bring on a bajillion coaches every month. I built Elite last year with maybe 3 to 4 coaches every month that I was bringing into my business. So if you are, I know for me, it's hard not to compare yourself to what other people are doing, but the team that I was on, there were some really big, heavy recruiters that were just every day. It was like 3-4 new coaches that they were adding. And I was feeling really discouraged, thinking like, oh my gosh, I can't be successful if I'm not adding 1 million coaches every month. But the reality of it is that you don't need a huge group of coaches. You just need a group of coaches that share your passion and your vision and have a really big heart. And so even still today, approaching my 2-year my 2-year anniversary as a coach, I mean, the biggest month for me recruiting would be about 9. That's only ever happened once. I'm generally like 5 to 6. So what I do is everybody that I bring on always starts as a challenger. I am now sort of at the point where I get some people that kind of jump right in, but pretty much my entire downline starts as a challenger first. And what we do is our team still runs a group challenge together, which is a really great home base, especially for a new coach that's kind of getting their feet wet. I do run my own challenge groups, and I invite my new coaches to join me, and I treat them like a challenger. In their first month of coaching, I really don't encourage them to. There's some you can't hold back. Like, I would have been the person that would have been like, I'm inviting people, but I want them to really focus on them for that first month, because it's really, really vital that they really figure out why they're here and why they're doing this. So we really focus on that and them being a challenger in that first month and documenting and sharing their journey all at the same time. And that will kind of translate over to success for the following month. But what I really, really wanted to do early on was, of course, have a huge impact on people's lives. But I knew that I wasn't going to be somebody that could just approach a lot of people and say, hey, join me on this coaching thing. It was really, I tried it. It was really hard for me. And so I knew that as a teacher, I could teach them to be coaches. I could educate them on what it is that a coach does by running them through the process of a challenge group and giving them the confidence to know that they don't have to be in their head at the end of their journey or look the way that they want to look to be a coach. Being a coach is somebody who helps others reach their goals, listens, is compassionate, has a big heart, treats everyone like a friend. I mean, that's a coach. And so what we started to do, and early on when I had my challenge groups, everybody that was in there, my goal was to make that a very warm and welcoming and engaging environment. And my challenge groups still to this day are very active. Everybody is an active participant. And if they're not, I'm calling them out, because they invested in a product, and I'm not a distributor, I'm a coach. And so if they're going to be in my challenge group, they're going to speak up and they're going to share their journey with us. Some are a little more open-minded to it than others, but the way I view it is that when you have them in your challenge group, you have a captive audience to share with them everything that it is that you do as a coach. That is your opportunity to lead them into the vital behaviors. I've recently started adding a personal development component into my challenge groups, because that is probably the one part that for me is like the most beneficial part of all of this, and that I didn't do before I was a coach. And it's probably the one that my coaches struggle the most with to make time to do. And so I've started to incorporate a personal development book into my challenge groups, and it's been something that I've gifted to them. And so when they sign up to do the challenge group, I write a welcome note in their book, and I mail them off their book, and I mail them off their welcome packet, and we get started. And I think that right there sort of gives them like this really welcomed feeling. And so with the challenge group, we have, our challenge group guide and how we're following our calendars, but I also create a calendar for reading, and we have talking points that go on throughout the challenge group. And I run 30-day challenge groups, so they're going to get through this book in 30 days. I've used the compound effect for most of them. I think that's a really good entry-level book for a new coach, but I think it's also extremely applicable to any challenger's life too, in terms of finding their why and goals and relating it to their work or their family or whatever it is that they're doing. My next challenge group, we're going to read You Are a Badass, because I really like that book. Have anybody read that book yet? Yeah. My challengers are all women. Not that I'm excluding men, but I just don't seem to attract men. And they're all pretty much moms and mostly pretty close to postpartum. So they are a lot of them are returning to work, and they have a lot of self-doubt in themselves. And so that's the book that I'm going to be reading with my challenge group in July, the one I do my one in July. But the challenge groups for me are the way that I can really demonstrate how big my heart is to help them, and that how my intentions are, and to discredit maybe any doubts or beliefs that they have about what it is that a coach does and what a group should look like. And so early on, when I really started to just really pour my heart and soul into my challenge groups, I was converting probably 90% of my challengers into coaches, and not just for discount. I do approach coaches for a discount opportunity to sign up when I know that cost is a barrier and they may not be able to continue on Shakeology. But to be completely honest, I very rarely come at them with the angle of, do you want to save on your product? Because if I put it in their mind that they only need to sign up so that they can save on their product, they're not hearing me from an angle of, you could have a huge impact on other people's lives and save on your product. I'm coming at them in a place where I want for them to join my team because I want their help in changing more lives. And so I don't have a ton of discount coaches. Most of my coaches that I have on my team are working coaches to some capacity. I mean, some are kind of get their feet wet and get up and running, but and they may in fact be more like a discount coach now, but I didn't invite them with that message. And I'm not saying that that's a wrong way to build your team, because, you know, I had plenty of discount coaches when I built my business to diamond, because you need them as buffers and you need to have those numbers. But if you want to grow your business, you need people that are like you, that, you know, at 9 o'clock on a Thursday night want to be on a team call and want to learn and want to help you and share in your passion. So those are the people that you're looking for. And when you have them in your challenge group, you have the opportunity to, they're all hands on deck. They're listening to you. They're captivated. So the message that you send to them, the way you value them, the way that you, you share your struggles and you share your successes, all of that shows that you're a real person, but then also makes you relatable. And they think, I could do what she does. You know, I could be that empowering, encouraging person that every morning when I wake up, I like to see her welcome message, like her quote of the day that gets my day started off right. And I've had people say that. They're like, you know, I am going to be honest, I wasn't really digging the idea of a challenge group. I'm never on Facebook. I only go on there to see my sister's kids or whatever. And they're like, it became a place where I wanted to be. I thrived in there. It was a place where I felt valued, and it was not a place on Facebook that was a lot of negativity. There was only positivity going on in there. And then once I would, have that conversation and I would see them excelling, because especially you guys have probably all had these challengers where it's like you could exit the group and they're just running it, posting all the food, answering, commenting on everybody's pictures. And you're like, all right, seriously, like, who's the coach here? It's you. And giving them that confidence and see, like, that's what you do. I mean, that's what a coach is. What you're doing in this group right now is exactly what you would do when you sign up to join my team and help others. But it will be your friends in that group, your family, them that you get to change their life. And what I've found from that by leading my challenge groups like that is that when I bring those coaches on, they're duplicating that. So they're leading their challenge groups with just as much heart and just as much passion and just as much investment in it. And now when I say I'm not spending all day in these challenge groups, I don't want you guys to have your head wrapped around like, oh, she must just be in these challenge groups all day. I don't spend more than 12 minutes in a challenge group ever. But I have, I'm at the point now where I have content that I bring back out and I use again. I mean, you kind of just save those good posts, but it's just being present every day. And that doesn't mean all day. That just means you're present every day. So, posting, I always have the first post up in the morning, and I schedule that post so that I'm the first one that they see. I'm not up at 5 a.m. posting it. I scheduled it, so that's done that for me. I post after my morning workout, and I call out people I haven't seen for a couple of days. If I haven't seen a sweaty selfie for 2 days, I'll kind of call them out. And some of them that's intimidating for, but I always message them on the back end. It's like, listen, I'm doing this because I care about you. And I know that when you sweat, you feel better. And, here's your why. I have their why documented. They told me why they're doing this, and I know their goals. And it says, skipping 2 days is not getting you closer to XYZ. So, you gotta post it for accountability. Show me that sweaty selfie. This is a safe place. No one else on Facebook is seeing it, so let me see that. And so when they join on the team, they're doing those same things. They know what a successful challenge group looked like, because they were part of one. And what that results in for me is a bunch of coaches that are extremely passionate about helping others reach their goals. And they're only focused on Success Club because they want to get challengers into their challenge groups so they can change their lives. And so it sort of all comes full circle with that, because if you just I know Success Club is something that is really overwhelming for some people. And, we just kind of hammer away at it on our team about it's just another life changed. Success Club means you're changing lives. It means that you're helping them in the best ways we know possible. And that's with a fitness program and dense nutrition. And they're in a well-supported group to help them reach their goals. And so it's just 3 people. And we've even broken it down and say it's 1 person every 10 days. You're looking for 1 person every 10 days to join you and to be your next face in that challenge group to help them reach their goals. And getting them there, as we know, is the hardest part. But once they're there, it's your job to keep them captivated and not captive. That sounds really bad. Captivated and engaged. And all of that happens with your energy. If you are projecting onto them this amazing opportunity, then it becomes something that they can't get out of their head. They want something. I share my story with them. I'm very transparent to everybody in this, and that, I needed a change. I needed a lifestyle change. I had not been very active with health or any fitness routine since before I was pregnant. So it had been about a year, and I was somebody that was always very active. Not that I was super fit, but I was always active. And that was really hard for me. So I needed that first for myself. And then when the business opportunity presented itself, I needed that as well. My family, we are 2 educators, and we had moved from New York to Virginia. I took nearly a $20,000 pay cut. We had a baby. We had daycare costs. Life was stressful, and in came an opportunity for me to be able to help people in the best way that I know possible and also supplement my income. It seemed like a no-brainer. And so we share those things because, again, most of my market are moms. They are busy working moms, and not that all of them want to be home with their children, because I'll be honest, that's not something I ever thought I would want to do. And there are some days where I'm like, I kind of want to go back to my job just because I'm losing my mind chasing my children. I don't really want to go back to that job. But there are some days when I'm thinking that job was sort of a break throughout the day. Any other work from home moms here? It's a long day. And I think anybody, unless you've done it, it's hard to really kind of picture how chaotic sometimes it can be. But I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling now, but does anybody have questions for me that want to kind of, I told Ashley, I said, I apologize. I sort of have a chaotic brain, and I blame that on my children sometimes. So I think I've developed ADD since once I became a mom.
I really want you guys to speak up and ask questions, because I know a lot of you have asked me in the past to do calls on challenge groups. So this is your opportunity, because you guys know this is not my forte. So please speak up. For my phone callers, send me a text message so I know to take you off. Katrina, go for it.
Oh yeah, I have 2 questions. 2 questions. Hold on, where are you? Oh, there you are, Courtney. So you do 1 challenge group every month. Mm-hmm. Does the challenge group officially end and then you start a brand new one the next month, or do you just kind of let it continue and roll over into the next month?
No. So when I first started, I started with T25, and that was the only 25-minute program. And that was honestly the only program anybody ever wanted from me, because I was doing it and they knew me and I had success, and it was 25 minutes. Who had time for more, So I had an ongoing T25 group, and so it was ongoing. And, looking back on that, I'll probably never go that route again, because you have an opportunity to really build community when you have a start and you have an end date. And when you don't really have a start or an end date, you roll people in, but they've missed all that excitement that happened as everybody first started. I know you've got a group of people that are starting, but you don't have that community. So I do a 30-day group. It's really 28 days. It's 4 weeks, and we do 1 full week of prep, which we sort of run like a 10-day challenge. So we do the why, and we do the goals, and we talk about meal prep, and we talk about how to make your shake. Like we kind of really meet them where they are for that week and kind of digest everything they're going to do, rather than like day one is open your kit, jump right in. Like we kind of slow it down a little bit. Now, again, of course, you've got your people that are, anxious Annies and are like, we're starting. That's okay. I'm not going to stop them. But you also have your people that are really nervous. Like they open their book and they're kind of like, this is so overwhelming, especially the 21-day fix. I don't know about you guys, but my fixers, man, it's like they are so overwhelmed. And I get it. It is. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, these containers are so small, I'm going to starve, which is not true. You guys all know that. It's like they're so deceiving, but we really slow it down. And so we build up that excitement before day one. And they have this community. So when they all push play together that first day, we've already been together for a week. And so they're like calling each other out, because they kind of formed these connections already. We've shared our goals, we've shared our why. And so they are starting to see each other, and it's like, hey, Sarah, I'm done. Are you done? You said you were a morning warrior today. Where's your sweat? So they're like running the group. They're doing all of that for me because we've built that community. And so once the group is over, I do have like a 365-day like general accountability group. And so I roll them all into there. And so I'll welcome my group of 12 people into there. And so that is an ongoing, but they've already built a community together for 30 days here, and then we roll them over here. And so they stay with their cohort and they all go together. And every 90 days I do restart that group. So I welcome anybody of my customers to continue to stay in there, but the deal is that they got to either be drinking their Shakeology or doing a program. They can't just be hanging out. That's not an option. They have to be committed to something. And so it also gives me a good opportunity every 90 days to reconnect with all of my past challengers and customers to get them back on HD, find a new program that's a better fit for them. And so it's sort of like seasonal. So I kind of wrap it around like a new season. And so we change our meal plan to reflect the seasons too. So that way, like we have like a general meal plan that's just a clean eating meal plan. And actually a lot of the recipes come from the Beachbody site, but we change it, themed for the summer months. So more like fresh fruits and salads and things are happening right now. And so that way your challengers that are with you for a long time aren't just working off the same supplemental meal plan. They get something new every 3 months.
That helps a lot. When you already said your target market is a lot of moms. Like I'm a mom, I have a 1-year-old. And yeah, if you had any helpful tips on how to focus, like I don't know if you actually do focus on a target market of, okay, I really want to find those young moms, or if it's a little broader than that, or how you, communicate and reach out either on Facebook or Instagram.
So I think when I first started as a coach, I would have said my market was former student athletes, because that in my mind was like who I first was inviting. Like I went after, all my old teammates that were new moms too, or weren't moms, but were kind of like working full time. And I knew they weren't making fitness a priority for themselves because we had talked and I said, join me on this. It'll be fun. And so that originally that was sort of my market, because I'm like, I thought only people that would want to do this would be fitness-minded people. That's my closed-minded new coach mentality, right? And then as I continued on this, I just shared my journey. I shared my workout videos, like with my toddler sitting on my back, or under the bridge mommy, or whatever it is. And people started responding to that, so then I would get messages from moms and say like, wow, like you don't know how many times I've told myself I can't work out in my living room because my kids are in the way. And then I see your video and I'm like, well, crap, if she can do it, I can do it. And I just share, like it took me an hour to do a 30-minute workout today, but it's done. And so I didn't necessarily intentionally target moms, but I thought about who am I? Like, what's my life like? Like, what does it look like? And where are my struggles and where am I succeeding? And who are the people that I want to help? And those are definitely, for me, postpartum moms. I would say most of the women that I have now are people that have had babies in the past 3 or 4 months and are like, all right, I'm ready. Like, help me. You lose the baby weight. You have more energy. I'm returning to work and I have no idea when I'm going to fit it in. But on my like page, that's sort of, I don't know if you guys have ever done, and I can share these forms with Ashley, but we have our new coaches in our boot camp do their avatar worksheet. So be thinking about, like, whenever you're speaking, because whenever you're sharing something, it should be that you are sharing something of value that's going to impact somebody. Who is your avatar? Like, who is your dream customer? Who's reading that post? And that person should have a name, and you should know where they like to hang out with their friends. And, oftentimes it probably ends up looking a whole lot like you, but it gives you some structure. So for me, every time I'm posting, I'm thinking about the busy working mom who wants simple solutions. She struggles with her self-confidence. She has 2 young children, a husband that travels a lot. And so I think about those things when I share recipes. It's like quick, easy fixes. Like, I'm typically like making dinner while changing a diaper. So it's like, I need something that's quick and fast. And so that's what my market wants. And when I sort of figured that out, it clicked. Like, it didn't seem so hard anymore, because people were then kind of coming to me and saying, okay, I've been following you for a few months, and these aren't people that I know. Like, these are complete strangers, but you're relating to them because you are relatable. You have a market, you are a real person struggling with the same things that they're struggling with, and then they can relate to that. That's totally real.
Thank you, Courtney. Does anybody have questions? You guys are usually still stop. Sorry, my dog's like barking and growling in the background.
I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good, Cara.
I have a question. I really like how you introduced the group, and I think that's potentially where, I wouldn't say my challenge groups are failing, but I think that's a huge improvement that I can do. But my question is do you ever run across where just nobody or very few people are posting, and how would you necessarily go about saving a situation like that?
So I've had a few challenge groups that I've been like, oh my gosh, like, I am miserable. Like, is this what I want to do? These people are boring. And honestly, sometimes what happens is I might actually call in like a coach and be like, all right, like, cause you got those coaches on your team that like always seem to have these super engaging posts and have a lot of energy. And it's like, I need a buddy. Like, can someone come join me for a week and like be a guest in my challenge group to see if we can get people going? And sometimes that helps, because for me, like, when that group is really dead, it sort of starts to hurt my feelings a little bit. Like, I'm like, well, what the heck? Like, I don't got any new material for you. But I spend a lot of time checking in on them in the background too, and just letting them know that, the challengers that plug into the group are the ones that are the most successful. I mean, that's period of end of story. We all know that. So, I go back to their why, and I go back to their goals and tell them, I know you're busy. You don't need to be on Facebook all day. I don't expect for you to be on it for more than 5 minutes, but when you are, please check into the group and share XYZ. And so I might add an accountability tracker, which typically tends to help because there's prizes and people like prizes. And so they'll get points. So like 1 point for their shake, or 2 points for sharing a recipe, or 3 points for giving helpful feedback to another challenger, like commenting on their post or whatever. And at the end of the week, we kind of tally it up. And that actually gets some people out of their comfort zone, because I think some just think, I don't know what to post. Like, I'm not really sure what to share, and I'm not comfortable posting a sweaty selfie. So outside of that, I don't know what to share. And so if I give them more direction, like, here are the things that you could share, like a motivational quote, or, and so I've got a list, and I can share with you what that graphic looks like and what we use. And I pull that out. If I'm like, okay, this group is, sorry, that's my cat's tail across the camera. If the group is really dull, I pull out that thing, and then we'll do that like week 2. So I can kind of tell usually during the prep group how it's going to go, because if no one's actually sharing on prep, I'm like, we might need to pull the big guns out sooner than later. But I've had 2 groups in 2 years that I've honestly been like, I want to shut it down. It's so boring.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to get creative, and you just kind of muscle through it sometimes. But the thing that's really hard too is that some of those challengers that were in those groups that I'm thinking of had some of the best transformations. They just didn't want to put it out there for everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
Courtney, I have a couple questions for you. So I hate challenge groups. I will be one of the coaches that submits it. I'm a recruiter. I like building my team. Like, that's what I enjoy doing. But obviously I do them because I'm supposed to. For me, I only run free challenge groups. I have not had a good success rate with requiring a program, just because I can do my 21-day fix challenge groups. Do you require for people in your challenge groups to buy Shakeology or a product through you then?
Yes. So I very rarely sell a program only, because I really, really emphasize the value of Shakeology. The only time I think that they don't really purchase, I have some that are pregnant whose doctors aren't supportive of it, or some that are breastfeeding again whose doctors aren't supportive of it, and I never argue with them. I mean, I share what I did when I was pregnant and breastfeeding with the support of my doctor, but of course to work with their doctor. But I do require they purchase something. However, I am not opposed to helping other people that maybe had ordered through eBay or Amazon. It sort of, I know this is going to sound like shades of gray, but it kind of depends on the person. If I think that they're coachable, I know that sounds terrible, but I've got some people that, you know, they talked to me and then they went to eBay because it was cheaper. And my concern is that, okay, a cheap bargain sometimes is the person who isn't really going to commit to it because they were just looking to find a better deal. And so we kind of really have to talk first and say, you can join my group, but you have to follow the guidelines, you know, and if you're not going to follow the guidelines, the group is not going to be for you. And I know that sounds horrible because I'm here to help people. And it's not because I didn't make commission, because honestly, that part is not something that I honestly really even care about so much. It's about the fact that if I know I can't help you, if you're not going to listen to me and let me help you, that's just going to be frustrating for both of us. And I just don't have time for frustrating situations more than I already have right now. So, was that what your question was?
Yeah. And then my other question is, so you run them for 30 days. You say you do a prep week and then you start your 30 days. Like, so say, or how do you do that?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's 30 days total. So we've got 1 week of prep and then 3 weeks of fitness related posts, you know. A lot of my challengers are 21-day fixers. I'm going to be completely honest. It's like my least favorite program. I mean, I love the nutrition part of 21-day fix, but I do not like autumn. I can't do it.
About half of the rest of my team.
Okay. I'm going to lie. I really like the extreme. Have you guys done the extreme workouts?
Yes.
Okay. I do like the extreme. I mean, I'm a Sean girl all the way. Like, I could jump for days and just sweat it out with Sean. But I do like the extreme workouts, and I did them after Max 30 because I kind of needed a break from all the jumping. And so it was kind of a good transition. I do like the meal plan. I like how simple it is, but I hate the regular 21-day fix workouts. Like, I just hate them. And so I had to kind of get over myself because it's like all people want these days is a 21-day fix, and it is a really great fit for most people. And so honestly, like, it's like all I'm running is 21-day fix groups mostly all the time.
That's literally all I sell. And I've encouraged every single coach on our team to do the 21-day fix at least once. I don't care if you don't like autumn, put her on mute. I don't care what you have to do, but it's what sells because everybody just wants 3 weeks. That's like perfect timing. People don't want a 60-day program. So I tell literally every coach, you have to do it at least once. I don't care if you hate it, just get through it for 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I agree. And the meal plan is pretty spot on, and it really makes a huge difference for people. So I agree. And I actually do the same with my new coaches. My last, I had 8 new coaches the other month, and we ran a challenge group, and we did it was like a 3 vital behavior training in a sense, but we all did the 21-day fix together because I really, really, truly, I believe what you're saying, Ashley, is that if there's one program you just can't really fake your way through, it's the 21-day fix. Like, you've got to know it as a coach.
We did a challenge group last month too. There was like 40 of us and we all did it together. Yeah. But that's what I do. I always have a free challenge group, and I just have done it since I started 2 years ago. People depend on it, but I always have a 21-day fix challenge because I don't sell anything else besides it.
Yeah. And so at one point I had like so many groups going on. And so I sort of just had to scrap all that. And I just do one start date every month. And so my folks I'll give you what my calendar looks like this month. If I'm going to do a free challenge, it's going to be on the first Monday of the month. My 10-day challenge is going to start on the second Monday of the month. The third Monday is my sneak peek, and the fourth Monday is my challenge, my 30-day challenge group. And so those that order like that first week, and like right now I'm sending invites for my July group that's going to start the end of the month, and I'm encouraging them to purchase like the first week of the month, and I'm going to have them start in the 10-day challenge. So we're going to get them started with I kind of phrase it as like 10-day, it's a clean eating challenge, really. I mean, they're drinking Shakeology and they're getting a clean eating meal plan. So they're really getting 2 months with me, you know, because they're getting the 10-day challenge, which is going to roll into the 30-day challenge group. And it gives me more time to really spend with them, but not so much in like that challenge group part. But then it also gives me time, like if I didn't hit my Success Club goals when I started pushing towards the end of the month for my 30-day, I've got time to do it because I'm really, you know, my goal is SC10 by the 10th of every month. You know, I don't want to stress about Success Club. after the 10th, I'm moving on to my team and I'm helping them reach their goals. And that's kind of the calendar that we've sort of fallen into as a team, and it's working out really great. I know this isn't necessarily what you asked, but my invites for my groups, I'm not necessarily, in the beginning, I definitely was doing more of like the invite every day, and I am sort of inviting every day through my sharing and my posts on my like page, but I really kind of blast my invites at one point in the month, because at this point I have a list of folks to follow up with that's, long enough that I can really just start there, and I typically will get my SC10 from my follow-up list. Like, these are people that had said no or not right now or gave me crickets months ago, but I'm coming back. I want to help you. You said you wanted to do this, but you weren't ready 18 months ago. Why not now? And so I'm just kind of working off of that. And then, of course, I'll get some new people that come at me from my like page too.
I like it. Thank you. Does anybody else have any other questions? I think Lindsay, did you take yourself off mute?
So I have a question about your challenge groups. So you had a 10-day, or the first week was a prep week, correct?
Yeah.
And then and then you have the rest, the 30 days is fitness. So if you have a customer that purchases like PIO and it's like 60 days, after those 30 days, are they just on their own then? Or you put them in that rollover group and they finish on their own? Okay.
They go into my general accountability group, which is really people doing a mashup of programs. And because I think I clear it out every 90 days and start it over, it is always sort of an exciting place. Like, we don't just keep it going over, and we clear it out, and it requires, we run that as a team. So that requires my coaches, and we'll post about it, is that you need to go back through everyone who's in there, and you need to have the conversation about their goals. Where are we at? Because it's really easy to lose people in those groups. And so you need to go back and make sure that if they're not on HD, why not? And if you're not going to stay on HD or push play in a program, then, let me know when you need my help. I'll be here to help you.
Do you feel like people, the way you're doing it and following up, that people are still going on and completing their programs even after they're done with the first 30 days with you?
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, I feel like those that stay on track in the first 3 weeks are the ones that are most likely to finish their program anyway. And so when I've done like 60-day groups, by week 7, it's like crickets. Like, no one's even on track. And so it just became one of those situations, I think that Cara was asking, where I was like, ugh, this needs to end. Because really, we know 21 days to create a habit. So if you can really hammer it in for those 21 days and you get them going good, you're not leaving them, you're bringing them into a new growth environment. So it's the same type of thing, a little bit less structured. It's more just accountability posts. But, those 21 days are when you really have to kind of hit hard and get them to be on track and stay on track. Because after that, I mean, when I was doing the 60-day, 90-day groups of like programs, I was like the only one finishing a program. They were stopping, starting, back on track. And then I couldn't keep track of people because while we all should have been on week 8, I had some on week 3 and back on week 1. And
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's just, as my business has grown, it's just been the way that I can really manage it, and it makes sense for me. And I think it also helps to minimize not having a million groups open at the same time. So I only ever have one 30-day group going on at the same time. So I can spend 12 minutes in a challenge group and be done, versus there was a point in my business where I was literally like nose in challenge groups all day. And that's not what I wanted for my coaches. I'm like, that they can't duplicate that. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. There was a question about, so the first Monday, if I'm going to do a free challenge, I start on that first Monday of the month. And the second Monday of the month is my Shakeology 10-day challenge.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Courtney. I don't want to keep you. I don't know what time it is. I think you're in the same time zone as me, right? 9:45?
Yeah, I'm in Virginia.
Okay. I don't get time zones. I'm like, just go with me wherever you're at. Thank you so much for doing the call for us. I know I took a lot of notes, and I know challenge groups is something that we definitely want to talk about. And hopefully you guys all got a lot of content out of it. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome. You are very welcome. I am happy to help. So you let me know what you need.
Perfect. Thank you. I will stay on the call for a couple minutes later, like in case anybody has any questions, comments, or anything they want to talk about. But you guys have a great Thursday, and I will keep you updated about next week's call. I'm not sure if it's going to be for only certain coaches or the entire team. I will let you guys know. Oh, she logged off. I didn't realize that. Oops, stop running.